Hey guys, Sidekick Ken here, also known as Keel Slicer if you're watching this on YouTube. In today's video we'll mark a new segment in a lineup of videos I have coming up called Viewer Request. Now of course a lot of people have these viewer request videos, so this isn't really something new, but I thought I'd try something new to satisfy a lot of my viewers and subscribers. So anyway, this video request is actually a bunch of questions I get on a regular basis in my inbox. How do you capture your video game footage? Well, I'm going to explain all that in this video. Just keep in mind that this is my own personal method of capturing game footage. I mean, there's many other ways, such as the Dazzle by Pinnacle, but I mean, this is just my own personal method of doing so. So, you guys asked how I do it, so here's my video on how I do so. Hope you guys enjoy. First, I'll introduce the items you'll need. You'll need a DVD recorder. These can run you anywhere between $100 and $300 depending on features, but a basic one will do just fine. A double-sided RCA cable. This really shouldn't cost you anything because they typically come with a DVD recorder anyway, and most people have at least one laying around the house somewhere. You'll need some DVD-RWs. DVD-Rs will work too, but DVD-RWs are less cumbersome, and I'll explain why later. The game console of your choice, in this case it's my Wii, and some DVD ripping software. First, take your game console and plug in its RCA cables into their DVD recorder's corresponding inputs. Then take your double-sided RCA cable and plug one side into your DVD recorder's output, and then plug the other end into your TV's input respectively. Once you've taken care of the cable work, make sure your TV is set to the appropriate video mode to receive its corresponding input signal. Then take your burnable DVD and insert the disc into your DVD recorder. Once your disc has been read, you're ready to start recording. Just turn on your console and hit record at the time of your choosing. You can normally record up to 2 hours on a single DVD disc, so you have a good amount of time to record. If you use a DVD-RW, it's a lot more convenient because you can immediately take the disc out when you're done and begin ripping it to your PC. And also, since it's an RW, you can reuse the disc over and over again. This can be a major money saver. However, if you use a DVD-R, you have to finalize the disc when you're done recording all the footage you need. And from my personal experience, this takes quite some time. Also, these can't be reused. Once finalized, you can't record over them, which is why I recommend DVD-RWs over DVD-Rs. So if at all possible, try to avoid the DVD-Rs in this process. Oh, and one last thing, if you want to record in widescreen, make sure your consoles are set to 16:9 and your DVD recorder settings are also set to 16:9. If you don't want to record in widescreen, just have everything set to 4:3. Now let's move on to the ripping process. Now of course you're going to need some DVD ripping software to actually rip the footage from the DVD. But what type of DVD ripper is best for ripping gameplay? Well, that depends on whether or not you want to spend money on the software. Some DVD ripping softwares are free online, but you gotta be careful with some of these because they may not work properly. I've had issues with Handbrake, Media Coder, Free DVD, and a few others. Now that's not to say that these won't work for you, but just keep an eye out for certain programs because compatibility issues may occur in those instances. That being said, I was lucky enough to acquire a free file converter, which I highly recommend to many. It's called WM Converter. This program works like a charm on my PC, and it should have no trouble running on most of your guys' PCs. And this is the program I've been working with for most of my reviews. So if you want a decent DVD ripper, just go to download.com or search it on Google. It's absolutely free, and it does a pretty good job ripping your footage. Just highlight the VOB files you want on your DVD disc, drag them into the program, and there you go. Now I've had some people ask me what settings do I use to get the fairly decent video quality with this program, and I'll explain that now. Just again, keep in mind these are my personal settings. Firstly, I set the output format to AVI, and then I set the video bitrate to 6000 kilobytes per second. My audio is set to 256 kilobytes per second, and the frame rate is set to 29.97 frames per second. And the video resolution is set to 640 by 360. I do this so I can get it in widescreen. If you would rather have it full screen, just use the basic 640 by 480. After that, I just set the output to my project folder and then click convert. After the files are done converting, I'm ready for editing or uploading. Well guys, I hope that answered your questions, and if you guys have any more questions, just shoot me up a message on the inbox. I might not be able to do too many video requests and whatnot, but I'll try to get as many done as possible. So well guys, I hope you enjoyed this segment, and until next time, keep gaming.